It's making me do strange things. It's not. So, hello, welcome to Let Me Bore You to... No, what is it? Let Me Bore You to Sleep. This is Whisper Wednesday. It's still... I don't know what time it is, about 4 o'clock. 2 minutes to 4 p.m. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. I've been waiting all day to do this because there's building work going on opposite me. In the flat opposite the hallway. It's not in the hallway, but the flat. When you go out the front door, the opposite door, in there. He's having his bathroom redone and he's had his bath taken out today. Now, I can't really complain about the noise because it's been pretty quiet. It's far enough away to not really affect me too much. But the other side of it is I need to keep Vinny occupied auditorily, because if he hears movement out of the front door, he's got a habit of barking. So this is the first moment of the whole day where there hasn't been music or some kind of something that he can listen to distract him, apart from when we're being out. So I'm not sure how he's going to react because the bath is actually in the hallway, the one they've removed. So when they drag that down the stairs, I'm guessing Vinny will give some type of response, which is understandable. Wow, okay, so I'm guessing it's the hottest day of the year so far, and I probably could do with wearing shorts or wearing not much inside, but I can't walk around in just me undies because I've got no curtains up. I washed my curtains at the weekend and I just haven't bothered to put them back up yet, even though it'll take me probably 5 minutes. I'll put it off. Actually, it might have been 2 weeks ago I did it. So I want to say thank you to Ben. And you know why. Ben knows why. So I'm going to say thank you for your messages. And I have made a few changes today. Not a lot of changes. Just a couple. Only one that may affect people, but I'm not doing it to affect people. I'm just doing it because, well, basically here's what I've done. I've decided to get rid of the website. I do have like a backup plan in place, a redirection, but I'm waiting for it to kick in because it's not working at the moment. So the website, I did have another website I was building as well, so that's gone also. So the website's gone. I was getting so few visitors, it really wasn't financially viable. It was like $66 a month for 20 visitors maybe a day. It just wasn't, couldn't keep it going, so I've let that go for now. I've tried to redirect the domain name, which is jasonnewland.com, to my podcast page, which has all my podcasts on. Well, actually, so like the main podcast. What I haven't done is really important is I've not deleted any podcasts. I'm not having some weird thing going on. Nothing's been deleted apart from the website. All the podcasts are running just like normal, including the Spreaker ones, the SoundCloud ones, and so wherever you listen online, it's still there. Nothing's changed. A couple of other things I've done trying to reduce my outgoings, because there's financial changes coming my way. Hopefully good ones, because I bought some lottery tickets this week. But I have got rid of a few things I don't need to pay out for, that perhaps I don't need anymore. And they were making life easier, but I can kind of do around them. Because my PIP, which is like a disability thing, that's up for review, I think, soon. And the government have changed it, so chances are I won't get anything. So I kind of need to prepare for that. Also, there's no longer any adverts on the podcasts. Not that was not, sometimes I didn't even cover the cost of running all the different things, but that's okay, so that's all gone. I got rid of Canva, which was the editing software that I use for editing the images, so Canva's now gone. That was like £13 a month. I've got rid of the transcription, because I was adding transcriptions to the podcasts and to the website and looking at maybe putting a book together, but that's probably not going to happen anytime soon. So I got rid of that transcription, which was £20 a month. I've kept ChatGPT, because that's what I use for the images, to create the images. The Canva was to finalise it all and put it together. So yeah, I'll be using only ChatGPT. Trying to think of anything else that I've managed to offload. Canva, transcription, the website, no, so the podcast I'm paying, I think £55 a month for Spreaker, so that's doable. I can manage that, and there will come a time when they'll start to charge me more if I keep increasing the amount of recordings that are on there, which is going to happen naturally. All my old recordings that were on my website, you know, the Let Me Bore You to Sleep 1 to 50 and then 51 to 100, etc. All those podcasts are on my Spreaker page. So yeah, it's all available. You just need to I posted the link to the Spreaker page, which has all my podcasts. I posted that on my Facebook group, which is Jason Newland's Boring Group. You know what? That's another thing. Is I spent a good couple of days really promoting the Facebook group. to try and get a few more members and that, and some other stuff I did. And after all that, I got two new members, both the same person, both two different Facebook pages with one person, the same name. So I'm wondering whether or not Facebook is really the place where people gather anymore. I don't know, maybe, because I'm not really on Twitter. I don't know. I think people find my stuff when they want to. I'm not hard to find online. Just my name, Jason Newland. Easy to find. I'm all over the place. Not just mentally, but I'm on all the main podcast hosts. So it's very easy to find me. Of course, I'm also on SoundCloud. Someone's having a good old cough outside. You could say it's a perfect day today. It's a blue sky, a little bit of breeze, a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. Because I took Vinny out probably about an hour ago, and we went to the park. At one point we were I was standing under the tree. Well, he was standing under the tree getting some shade. I was standing there with him. He had his tongue out, and I had my tongue out as well. And the breeze was glorious, such a glorious breeze. Isn't it? It's so weird, okay? None of the other people that were around were staring at him. He had his tongue out, but why were they staring at me? So I came home, put some clothes on, and I had a shower today before going out. I mean, it's not the first time I've had a shower. It's the first time I've had a shower today. So I had it about 2 o'clock before I went out. I was sweating like I'd had a shower. Dried myself off, like completely dried myself off. Water was squirting out my ears. I couldn't believe it. It was just... There was a puddle in my shoes. There wasn't a puddle in my shoes. A swamp. No, there wasn't a swamp. Why am I saying that? I don't know. I never know. But yeah, it was nice. It was a little bit too hot for the little one. And the heat is making him tired. He's fast asleep. Even though he was awake when I started this, he's completely exhausted. I can always tell as well, because when I go to get up out of the chair, when he's sort of half asleep or just resting, he'll jump up with me. But just now, before I started this, I went over and had to go and put stuff away before coming back. He didn't want to move. He was just lying there like, really? It's just like, what do you want? He was just staring at me. Why have you got to get up now? I've been listening to some Richard Bandler videos from probably the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, probably late 80s, early 80s. And Richard Bandler is as NLP, but now NLP is also known as is it natural language programming or something in computers. So NLP kind of has more than one meaning now, a little bit like CBT. I actually remember, and this is totally true, I was at college, and when I was in university, we had to learn about other therapies as well, because I was studying person-centered counselling, which is Rogerian therapy, Carl Rogers and all that stuff. But we also had to look at other things, Gestalt, psychotherapy, psychoanalysis, behaviourism, all that stuff, and CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy. And I was at my dad's, and his wife was there, and they sort of said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I've just been studying CBT." And she said, "What's that?" I said, "I'll show you." So I got my phone out, and went and Googled. No, I didn't actually. I think it was a laptop, or I'm not sure if I even had a phone that could do the internet back then. So I went to her laptop or her computer. I said, "I'll show you." So I put CBT into Google. Now, I didn't realise that there's more than one CBT. There's at least 3. Now, I made the mistake, and there was a time when you could just put "I feel lucky." So you put CBT and then click "I feel lucky," and it'll just come up with the a website that they've sort of chosen. I don't know if anyone remembers that. It's a long time ago. Well, I didn't realise there's 3 different CBTs. There's one CBT which is the motorbike test. So in order to ride a motorbike or motorcycle or maybe a moped, I don't know, I think it's motorbike, it's called a CBT. I don't know what it stands for, something training. And then there's another one, the CBT. That's the website that came up. And there was a really explicit image. Bearing in mind my stepmom's like standing next to me, and I'm pointing out that this is what I'm doing. So I press "I feel lucky," as I click that, and my dad calls me over. He said, "Oh, what do you want? Do you want a beer, or do you want a whiskey?" So I'm looking at him. I said, "I'll just have a beer, please." And my stepmom says, "So that's what you're studying at university?" And I said, "Yeah." And I'm busy focusing on my dad. And she said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, why?" So I turned back, and it was the 3rd one. And it was this big image, and not something you particularly want to watch online with your step-parent. Cock and ball torture. That's what CBT stood for there. It's not even a joke, this really happened. At least I was very surprised, because I'd never even heard of that. I mean, really, it's like, I don't normally talk stuff like this, but I'm just saying this is real. It's like, what? CBT? I was like, no, that's not what I'm learning at university. It's cognitive behavioural therapy. She said, "But you said CBT." I said, "Yeah, that is CBT. This also apparently is okay, CBT, fair enough. But it's not the CBT. Why would Google It wouldn't do that now. But why back then? You know, the amount of stuff that they just chuck at you without even, like, I don't want that. I want something different. I'm not looking for that. It's, yeah, anyway. So, do you ever hear voices? Okay, I mean, I'm talking like real voices, and sometimes I don't know if it's a person talking or if it's a person on a mobile phone talking, like, you know, on a speaker, or if it's a radio, or if it's a television. Do you ever get that when it's like continuous talking? It's almost like there's no pauses. So maybe there's two people talking. Mind you, I've known people that just talk and talk and talk. Yeah, my landlady used to be like that. She used to talk to me. I'd be in the toilet and she'd still be talking to me. Seriously, I'd actually be on the toilet and she'd still be saying something, whatever she was talking about. I was like, why are you still talking? She used to like me when I first moved in there, my landlady. This is back in 1991. And then in 1993, kind of near the end of the year-ish, we had a new person move in, and I think she fell in love with him. And he was always around, doing stuff for her, and spending time with her, and I mean, I think she invited me into her living room twice. Once was when she told me she was going to kick me out. Another time she wanted me to watch an Italian opera. I preferred the eviction one, to be fair. And he was in there all the time. I don't know if they cuddled. It's not nothing to do with me, but he really took a dislike to me and started stirring it up. So I ended up moving out. Oh, the eviction, that didn't happen. She just said she had enough of me, and I said, oh, please, I'll do anything. She said, anything. And I sung that song from that movie. I would do anything, anything, anything. Was that Dr. Dolittle, I think? I don't know. I don't feel like proud of myself, but I actually moved out when she was on the toilet. It's true. I had all my bag. Well, actually, I didn't. I ordered a taxi. And I think I packed everything up while she was into black bags, brought them downstairs, and moved out. I couldn't be there anymore because she wasn't being nice to me. I think I kind of overspent my welcome, as it were. But even now, when I think back, I wonder, why did I just stay there for so long? Is it laziness? I don't know. I kind of liked the quiet because I lived opposite, or lived behind a graveyard. So the front of the house was a cul-de-sac. So there was no traffic. And then behind the house wasn't just a graveyard, it was an old graveyard that no one went in. And there was a newer graveyard next to it that was active. I used to go for walks there because it was nice and peaceful. Maybe I've always been weird. Do you think? I just remember my favourite thing in the world, really, other than going to comedy clubs, was going to the West End, buying a book, coming home, reading a book, sitting up in bed reading a book. That's what I enjoyed doing, and I'm kind of intending to get back to that. I just need to get my eyes tested so that I can start reading again, because my eyesight is a bit poo-poo at the moment. That's another reason why I've come to the conclusion that, or decision maybe, I don't want to spend long periods of time staring at a computer screen. It's not good for my eyes. I think it's affecting my eyes because I've been doing it for 25 years. Like, thousands of hours since 2020. I've been staring at the computer screen sometimes 10, 13, 14 hours a day. So, yeah, thousands upon thousands of hours, and I don't think it's been great for my optical nerves or whatever. And when I take a break from looking at the computer, my eyes do feel better. My eyes, that was. It sounded like... No, my eyes. My eyes feel more relaxed. I'm okay for like an hour or so. That's about it. I think an hour a day. Do the editing. And then upload them. And that's done. In fact, it's a little bit of staring at the computer, but I don't need to be online the whole time, looking at the screen. And also, I think, with the way technology's working, especially with things like ChatGPT, I can ask it to make me things. Maybe use the chat a bit more. Use the microphone and verbally do requests as opposed to typing in. So that was maybe make it a little bit easier, a little bit more thorough, a bit more less starey at a computer screen. And it would be nice to get back to reading and learning, but not for any kind of reason other than just for fun. I'm interested in hypnosis. I'm interested in chronic pain relief. I'm interested in techniques that help people. Different things that I can say, different ways of saying it that can be useful to help people. So that's not changed. I don't feel any less wanting to help people. If anything more, that desire or that need is, I'd say it's grown stronger as I've got older. So, but what I like to do, how I like to sort of work things out is, I like to learn things, but then just let it all be in my brain and percolate maybe, and just mix together with all the other stuff, so that I can come up with ideas when I'm talking that may be useful. And I suppose it's about feeding my brain with helpful stuff, and also things that I'm interested in, because if I'm not interested in something, I might as well just, there's no point reading it. There's no point in me watching something I'm not interested in, because I just switch off. I don't take any notice. So I suppose I need to work within my, I suppose in some ways, limitations, but I like to think of it as geniuses. Work within my genius. I'm trying to think what else has happened today. Not a lot. Like yesterday, there wasn't a huge amount of sound really from the neighbour, but there was a fair bit of sound. Like I think there was other music and things like that from other neighbours. I think it was blocking the noise, so I'm guessing that people downstairs could hear it more than I could, which it kind of makes sense, because if they're drilling and stuff and breaking concrete into the floor, that's going to affect anyone that shares that ceiling, doesn't it? I suppose. I know I share the floor, but I'm quite far removed. I'm in a room that's the furthest I could get away from where he is. Not to get away from him, just this is where my living room is. And I've got no walls that really share, but his next door neighbour does, and downstairs from him does. They both share the same kind of, like his bathroom. Oh wait a minute, his hallway in his bedroom he shares with next door. But the floor is shared, isn't it really, I guess, with next door. Downstairs, I assume the bathroom, the bathroom ceiling for downstairs would be his bathroom floor. So they're going to feel it, or they're going to hear it. But so far, I've heard a bit of banging, a bit of stuff like that. Was that loud? Sorry. A bit of pew 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 pew. No, that sounds more like an old Space Invaders game or something. Pew 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 pew. Buck Rogers. Pew pew pew. Star Wars even. Pew 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 pew. Perhaps that's what I should have done. I should have done voices and sounds. I could have been a voice for like animation. Pew pew. I don't know how far I'd go with that one sound though, but it's quite a good sound. Pew pew. If only, all these things I could have done. I do wonder. I think back to when I was 15, I left school, and I was even too young to join the army. I was so young, it was just the choices. I mean, some of the choices I couldn't do till I was 16, but a lot of things I could have just, there's the things I wasn't able to do. I couldn't apply to join the police force. I couldn't go to university. There's certain things I wasn't allowed to do because of having no qualifications and leaving school at so early age. Because I left, I think it was April 1986, and I wasn't 16 till the end of August. So it's, 4 months, or whatever, till I was 16. And I was suddenly earning £60 a week, working full time, which at 15 was a huge amount of money for me. Huge amount, huge. Honestly, I was buying clothes. I'd buy new clothes. I was walking around dressed nice for the first time, really. I didn't walk around horribly dressed when I was a kid, but I'm just saying, for the first time I could choose my own. Actually, I kind of did choose my own clothes, really. But most of the clothes was school uniform, wasn't it? Not at home. I need to get myself some pyjamas. That's what I need to do. I realised that I'm looking at my clothes lately and I'm just wearing the same old stuff every day. So I've got these dark brown tracksuit bottoms. Horace is there, can you hear Horace? He's having an argument with his wife, Doris. I got 7 pairs of these tracksuit bottoms, so I wear a different pair every day, and I'm pretty sure people see me. They've never seen me wear anything else for years. I don't know if they think I'm just wearing the same thing every day, like the same pair of tracksuit bottoms, which I'm not. It's different ones, they're just all the same. So I've decided I'm gonna try and get myself some clothes, a little bit of clothing every week. So I'm trying to, every time I get paid, I put 10% away, saving. And that's for veterinary bills for him. And I'm also saving up so I can go and get my eyes tested and pay for some decent glasses. The eye test is free, but so anyway, that's what that 10% is for. It's basically his. Now we've got a dog barking. Blimey. That dog hardly ever used to bark before, now it can't shut up. Apart from when it's not barking, which is most of the time. Most of the time it's quiet, so I don't know why I'm moaning. I do know why I'm moaning, because I love it. I love moaning. It's my right as an English person to moan, to complain about the weather, or just talk about the weather, and to just moan. That's my human right. And to drink lots of tea. So, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so 10% I'll try and put away for future vet bills, future things like dentists, because I haven't got a dentist. So dental bills, because that was £300 when I had a tooth removed a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago. So, and the other thing is for my eyes. So that's those 3 things that I need to put that away for. And now I'm going to spend a percentage of, work out a percentage, small percentage of every time I get paid, and contribute that towards getting some clothes, whether it's a pair of socks or a pair of pants, underpants or a t-shirt, whatever, just to start getting some, I don't know, half decent clothes, because most of what I've got is worn out and old and grotty. I mean, because I've got a tendency of buying cheap stuff, like cheap t-shirts, £5 for £1. No, maybe not, but like, 5 t-shirts for like 20 quid. They're fine to start with, but after a few washes they don't look great. So it's something I want to try and do. Also, I need to look at getting a winter coat. This is probably the best time of the year to get a winter coat, really, because they'll be cheaper. Because I don't have one. I've got this old thing my dad gave me probably about 10 years ago, probably longer actually, and it's something he used to wear on the docks. He gave that to me and I just had it as a backup. But then the 2 winter coats that I did have got mislaid, so I ended up with nothing. So I've been wearing that one for the last couple of years, which is okay. I've got a big jumper on underneath, but I think since I lost a little bit of weight, I feel the cold a little bit more than I used to. Because I used to be like a seal, in the winter. I had so much blubber, I didn't really feel the cold at all. Now, I still don't feel it hugely, but a little bit more. So I've got a little bit less fat on me. I'm still heavy enough to not be affected by the wind, so that's good. That is an advantage of not being really, really slim and light, because I used to get blown around by the wind. I used to have to wear heavy boots in a light breeze, seriously. I remember once we went kiting, and my dad used to love kiting, and we go to the top of the cliffs, and it was a windy day, always on a windy day, and because we lived near the beach, windy days are very generous. There's a lot of them, and we'd be flying these kites and it was great, but I would actually find myself being lifted up by the kite. I mean, this was when I was a kid, so I probably only weighed, I don't know, 4 stone or 5 stone maybe. So, it wouldn't take a lot for a 4 stone to be lifted off the ground. Yeah. I don't know why I started thinking of that. That was quite good times actually. And my dad had a friend who owned I don't know if it was an ice cream place. I think it was like this restaurant. I think it was like a restaurant bar, but had an ice cream bar in it. So I don't think, based on where it was positioned, that they would make enough money just selling ice cream. So it was actually a venue. So we went there and we used to get some ice cream. That was a long story that didn't really lead anywhere, did it? I could have just said we'd go and have some ice cream. I just remember it was quite a big room with tables and stuff, and I think my dad used to do work for the man, like electrical stuff, but he was also friends with him. I think if I was ever to have my time again, and I had to choose, say, a trade, I don't really know. I've thought about this, like, I don't think I'd want to be an electrician. I don't think I'd want to be a carpenter, just because I've never really, I did woodwork at school, but it never really I never found it interesting. I did metal work as well. That was even less interesting. Working with metal wasn't really something that I particularly looked forward to. No. Although in junior school I used to like woodwork because it was just part of crafts, and I'd be working with balsa wood, so what I needed was a little knife, I suppose, is it whittling, I think it's called, and a bit of sandpaper, and I would make these, what are they called? Not yachts, canoes. Make these little canoes, and I used to quite enjoy doing that, and cross stitching as well. I loved cross stitching. Oh yes. I don't know what it was. I think it might have been that it gave me a focus, something to really focus on. It took my mind away from what I was thinking about, I guess, maybe. And I needed that. So I was about 9 and 10 when I did that. And I felt good. I felt very relaxed when I did stitching, gridge stitching, cross stitching. I tried it again when I was in my 20s. I can't remember what happened. I didn't stick at it, because otherwise I'd be doing it now, wouldn't I? However, if I did do it now, I'd probably use a tambourine. Okay, it's not, that round thing that you use, or I think maybe you can use like not a door frame, like a frame thing, and you put the material on, and you can do it that way, just so you can kind of see what you're doing. Tambourines, they were like tambourines. They were round anyway. They didn't have, like, you couldn't shake them, you couldn't join an orchestra or a choir because they didn't make any noise. So as an accompaniment, they weren't much use, but for cross stitching. Why is that such a hard word to say? Crotch stitching, cross stitching, blimey. I think it's because I haven't said it for some while. It's not a term that I've used very often in the last 50 years or 45 years. But I used to love it. I really did. just, perhaps that's what I need. Although, to be honest, I find making podcasts have kind of the same reaction for me. As I'm focused, but not on myself. Although I'm talking about myself, I'm not focused on. There's nothing going on in my mind other than the next word, or maybe wondering why I said the next word. That's a very focused, very relaxing thing to do, making a recording for me. Because if it wasn't, then I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I'm not going to do something I don't want to do. I've tried. I spent my whole life trying to do that. But as far as recordings, I have forced myself to make recordings in the past, and it doesn't work. I'll do the recording, then I'll have to trash it because I realised I've just been a little bit too grumpy. So I only make a recording when I want to, when I'm up for it and I'm feeling. I mean, sometimes I do one when I'm tired. Sometimes I do one because I know I need to do it, but it's not that I don't want to. I might give myself a little nudge, maybe on a Q&A Friday when I'm thinking, I've left it late, I'm going to have to do it. If I don't do it now, I'll have to do it in the morning, and I think, no, I'll do it now. But it's never forced. Wow, my stomach just did a proper gurgle. That's why, 'cause I only had breakfast cereal yesterday, so I've not had any food. So I need to, since Monday, so I need to, like, not food, you know. So I'm going to make myself a couple of toasted sandwiches once I've done this. Just needed to check something. I don't know. In my freezer, I did have some rolls which I can toast. I let them defrost and then I used them as bread rolls, basically. They're ciabatta. Is it ciabatta or ciabatta? Ciabetti rolls, and I'll cook something in the air fryer and eat them inside the rolls. I don't know if I've got any left in the freezer, and if I have, I'm gonna have to stick them in the air fryer to defrost. But then I'm thinking maybe what I'll do instead is I'll just have some toast with something inside the toast rather than the ciabatta rolls. Because I do have at least one loaf of bread in the freezer. So I need to remember to eat it, because I know that if I leave the bread in the freezer too long, the bread just goes wrong. It's not weird as you'd think, oh, you put it in the freezer, it should last for ages and ages. It's frozen, but if it's left in there too long, the results of toasting a piece of bread, a slice of bread that's been in the freezer too long is not nice. Fresh toast is quite nice. Fresh bread toast is also yum 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 yum. Depending. I think depends on what kind of bread it is. I tell you it's weird. There's a bread called Toasty that we can get, right? It's too big to fit in the toaster. Long-wise. It's ridiculous. It's called Toasties. You'd think that meant it's for toasting, unless I've got the smallest toaster in the world. The dog in the garden was barking again. Hopefully it's stopped now. That dog is exactly the same as Loki. Same make, same everything really. Looks different, but kind of the same type of dog. Same barking, same sounds the same. Deep old voice. I don't know if you can hear my stomach gurgling, but I'm gonna have to go and eat. Eat, I tell you, eat. Oh yes, I'm gonna eat. Maybe it's because I had some ice cream. So when I went out with Vinny, I came back, had a cornetto. I gave him some of the ice cream. He can't have the cornetto because it's got chocolate on the crust or whatever. But this was just strawberry and vanilla. So I gave him a bit of the ice cream and he lapped that up very quickly. Oh, he's just waking up. His head was hanging down. Oh, he's gone back to sleep again. He has weird dreams. The other day I woke him up because he was literally making the strangest sounds. This was on Monday night. I don't know what he was thinking. But he just spent time with the neighbour who used to have him. He spent about an hour and a half with her for the first time since the beginning of the year, really. And I think it's had an emotional effect on him because he adores her, absolutely adores her. He's known her since he was born, since he was literally born. She's one of the first people he ever saw in his life, so he's got a big attachment to her. I'd say that after 2.5 years of living here and sleeping in a bed with me and being with me nearly all the time, he's probably got an attachment to me as well. I just don't know. It seems to be different with her. It's just, I gave her the lead and she walked off and he just went with her. Didn't look back, didn't care that I wasn't there. It kind of, I don't know. I feel that he should want to stay with me. In a way. But I think he's happy. He's happy, he's a happy boy. He doesn't get the stimulation that he needs, I don't think. But he does get out a few times a day. He sees quite a few different dogs, lots of different people he says hello to. There's an amazing amount of people around here that know him by name. Hello Vinny, you alright Vinny? Like, I don't even know who half the people are. There's because everyone seems to know him. Bless. So to go get myself some food. I need to also get a delivery. I forgot about that. Yeah, I need to get myself delivery. Because I'm running out of milk. I'll just see. I might have enough milk for tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So maybe I'll wait until tomorrow and get a delivery tomorrow. I've definitely got enough milk for tea. For a few cups of tea. But I don't know for the breakfast cereal. And I do like to have my ready break in the morning, and that takes up nearly a bowl of milk. You alright, darling? You okay? Yeah. Good boy. Did you have a lovely sleep? You did, didn't you? Hey. You okay? You alright? Good boy. He's laid his head down again. As strange as when he's lying on the sofa with me next to me, I can have my hand on him the whole time, stroking him, massaging him, and he's fine with that. But if we're in bed, doesn't let me put my hand on him. Weird, isn't it? It's like, the other day he shouted at me, "I like you as a friend." Like, it's a weird thing to say. He needs a bath. Wow. You know, I was literally going to say, he doesn't even react to the word bath. But as soon as I said he needs a bath, he looked up at me, and my stomach gurgled again, which means it's Din Din's time. So thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy, and be gentle with yourself.